Hey guys, I'm Fuller from Off the Line. I got some special guests with me here today. We got the 2026 crew. Would y'all like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Francis Tomasevich, aka Frank White Lamone.
I am the magician, the magnificent Dom B.
So, I mean, you all have been friends for, quite a while now, like more than 10 years, you'd
11,
say?
11 years.
11 years?
11 years on Facebook.
11 years on Facebook. Hey, okay. So did y'all meet in grade school, high school?
Freshman year.
You my man. Actually, the first day of freshman year, we had homeroom together. He's a dumpster from Dillard, so. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Was there always
Part of
a...
orientation then.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
we
no,
met
they-
in high school.
They separate orientation though. They had they had different days for different people. I remember it was weird.
Yeah.
Never mind. Probably first day high
It
school.
was first day, bro.
Was there always a sense of like a collaboration between you two, like the desire to work
Essentially,
together?
yeah. Nah, him and our buddy who lives in New York right now, they've been making rap videos since they were like in elementary
11?
school.
I think 11.
And I saw they were doing that, and I thought it was like mad cool. So I didn't start making stuff with him or them until like 10th grade.
Okay.
But we were always like I just always had respect for them because I thought it was cool that they were just like doing shit as kids, like putting up videos on YouTube and stuff.
So I know outside of like 2026, you do your music thing, and you do clothes and visuals
Freelance,
and pretty much anything.
yeah.
Can you just give me a little background into all of that?
Well, so me doing visuals and clothes, I think I started probably when I was 14. I was just being a kid that was like doing dumb shit, like doing graffiti and whatnot, but didn't really do it that hard, but like enough to where I was like, okay, it was fun. I was like going out being bad, but I like also saw like Shepard Fairey and like Pharrell and other people were making clothes and even Mishka and like other stuff from like graffiti like designs, and I wanted to dive into that realm and kind of just like, be more in that subculture versus like I didn't really like connect too much with like the actual like graffiti kids because I was more into like high art and everything else. So I was like, I wanted to put myself in clothes and like almost like profit from the clothes because I was young. There was no like other hustles at the time, like being like 15, like it was just a way to make money, like put money down and like get money back and be like proud of whatever you're doing and people like enjoy what you're doing. And that's kind of just how I learned how to do graphic design and like everything else, like shooting photos and but at the same time we were recording music and like so all that merchandise and visual stuff goes
like
into
the cover
music.
art and stuff like that too.
So
we've
like,
always
it just
done
lends
stuff.
itself. It just bounces back and forth when you're like doing, people are like, oh, why do you do so much? But at the same time, it's just like, why aren't you doing everything? If you're,
It's almost
like,
necessary. It's just
Yeah.
DIY. It's just like, all right, cool. Like I'll do the cover art. I'll produce a song. Yeah. So I am a hip hop artist. So that I produce, I write, I rap, I auto tune sing. I've been DJing as well. That's really about it. But yeah, I met him in 10th grade. Well, I met him in beginning of high school, and I saw that they were doing music and stuff. So I think 10th grade came around, and I think they were putting out a video. So they asked me to come. They asked me to come do this like U of L themed video, and I went over there, and we were just like having fun with the green screen he had set up in this church that he lives in, and I was like interested. I just seemed mad cool that like they were doing this stuff. So I was like, hey man, can I like record with you? And he was like, yeah. So I mean, it turned into that, and then I started going over there literally every single day when I was 16, and up until like.
shout out to the iMac and Garage.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was the only person I knew with a fucking Mac. And can I curse?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm about to say.
By all means.
Oh, thank God. He was the only person I knew who had a Mac and GarageBand, and then our buddy had Fruity Loops, so he was making beats. Frank's always known what to do on laptop stuff like that, so we always had. And also, I was a picnic connoisseur, so I would like get pictures and make like shitty cover art. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was never a fan of the cover art.
I'm saying like.
Well, he was really enthusiastic about it.
But I'm saying, but still, you do shitty things, or you figure out how to do, when you do good things, you still have that same mindset of like, all right, let me do it myself. But yeah, so they just did that stuff, and I thought it was cool. I admired it, and so I just asked him if I could join on, and Frank was mad cool with it.
Yeah.
Our other buddy Jordan, he hated me up until probably like 5 years ago.
And then,
but still, like it was just.
and we kind of got like in that time like a whole crew together, and
Yeah.
like a bunch of that crew kind of dissipated, just like, you know, going to college and whatnot, and just like different interests or like, you know, living life, and so I don't know.
Like
We
doing
just
shit
made-
they're more into it. Like
Yeah.
the guy he originally started out with, they were like he was rapping. He's like in theater arts up in, or he does musical theater up in New York now. So like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't
Yeah.
mess with it anymore. But like me and Frank, I think when it was like my junior year, like, and that's when I would stay over his crib like I would go over there if it was
I mean, you
weekend.
can
I'd
tell
take a target
like
there.
Dom was so serious about it because like the amount of effort he would put into it. I mean,
Yeah. We had like whole that's why like people ask us now, they're like, man, like, how do y'all do that? I'm like, bro, we've been doing it. It was shitty as fuck back when we did it like years ago back in high school. Like it was goofy. People made fun of us for it. Now like that's why like we don't
but we
like
were still playing releases. And,
It was
and
he
doing the
still
same
had like
thing.
fresh fruit releases back in high. Like he was the only kid
Yeah.
doing that. Like he charged $30 for a T-shirt, and I mean we were just like, oh fuck, $30 for a T. Like it blew us the fuck away. But yeah, fucking, we've been doing this shit for years. Like it's like second nature for us to have shows like we do now because like I mean we had shows when we were like 17. You remember me doing
Yeah.
hardcore shows stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like we've
Very much
always,
remember him
I'm
playing
gonna say we've
metal
always
shows.
done this stuff, and he was always with me. You know what I mean? Whether he was like DJing off the iPad or his phone or like
Or
doing
even
now.
hype manning or whatever.
He's my hate man, and now he's literally like curating these like personalized visuals for our brand 2026. His thing at Magbar called Thirst. Whenever I do a show, like has like it all. So it's a whole thing. Like if it's a 2026 show, like it used to just like if we would throw a show, the visuals would be more for me. Now like we're having open access. Like man, why don't we make the whole show look like cool? So
Yeah.
the first time we did that was at the Speed Art Museum last year. Like we it was with Tomberlin and a band Jesus.
Even Kaiju. We had
Even actually Kaiju as well. Yeah, we like
For the-
he curated visuals.
Star
and-
Wars.
Star Wars thing. Yeah, it was May the 4th be with you. Boom. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean he just I don't know. It just trying to make shit look cool and have fun, man. Do all the shit that we sell like Kanye and Pharrell and shit. Tyler the Creator, him coming. I mean that was a huge inspiration. Just all those guys we saw just like doing everything themselves and like yeah.
I guess that was my next question. Artistically, where do y'all draw your influence from? Like across the board.
I'm gonna say now like across the board, like I've always been a huge fan of Sonic Gold and MIA just because like they like had big hits, but like it never like they was never chasing hits. So like they had that big hit songs, but then they were still like mad indie. Also, 2009 was a great year for just rap in general, cause all that weird shit. Kid Cudi, who else, man? Draw inspiration from. Honestly, like anymore now, it's just like all my young homies. Like I just got the phone with my young homies. Like they be making music, and these little motherfuckers be having hella followers on IG, and like they're just hella persistent on like getting people to listen to their shit. Just like how we was back, as I remember, like in high school, we would literally like send our shit through everybody on Facebook Messenger and just bug the literal shit out of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean everybody would listen to it. I mean, like I sucked back in the day. But still, you know, you still get people like, oh, this is cool. You still got people who were like drawn to our personality and just us doing something that they didn't see everyday kids doing. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of in high school, I mean, we went to a pretty creative high school, but like kids still weren't like editing their own YouTube videos and making little stuff. They would only do it for class projects while we were like getting off from school and going home and like doing all that.
We would low-key get made fun of. Like I remember freshman year, like I was making the YouTube, and people were like, "Oh wow, you make YouTube videos?" Like this is like before, like now everybody's like, "I'm gonna be a YouTuber."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
our whole mindset from like age 12 is like, we're gonna be YouTube famous, and we like actually got like views with like 200,000 views. This is like early 2006, and this is like so we had like at the time like had the YouTube clout to like continue pushing it, but like by high school it was like almost it definitely like pushed me step back on like I was like kind of embarrassed a little bit, and it definitely like regret the embarrassment because I was like, why did I step away? But then also I could have redirected that, and I definitely did redirect it in like a more artistic direction because I didn't want to do vlogs or like done things like that where you're talking to the camera. I definitely wanted to like improve and where I was going, and like thought about like where I wanted to be as a video maker or filmmaker eventually, and I was like, well, I don't want to be what the YouTube star is anymore, or like have that, because like it definitely became like what it is now. It started like the form was like starting, and like now you have like Jake Pauls and stuff, and that's definitely not the direction that I wanted to go. I didn't want to like be out pranking people. Like it was just having fun with your friends, and that's where like we enjoyed that. But like maybe a reality TV show someday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just,
That we would
I
produce
understand.
though, because fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But just fun stuff like that. And my inspiration though, like I've built such like from traveling around, like built a really like dope network of people I know that are also really talented all around like the U.S. and world. And even now I'm on like Russian Tinder finding like new cool girls. Like I've got like and like there are girls and they're really dope and they're like asking me like questions about like art theory and stuff that like I've never had an American art girl like be like, yo, do you like their technique, like everything is just like damn, like tapping into these like international sources of like energy and like influence is just so good because like I mean there's such a divide like like just being so central and like not like spreading your arms out and just meeting people and that's like, yo, let me follow your Instagram because like you're cool, they're gonna follow you and you see all this new fresh like view on stuff. It's like, it's real good.
Yeah, 100%. So I know we talked a little bit before. You all aren't necessarily soccer fans per se, but are you?
Definitely am for sure.
Were you like familiar?
Shout out my
with,
nigga Mbappe. That's about it.
what is your experience with soccer?
I mean, even earlier we were talking about Jordan. I mean, we met like we didn't meet each other through soccer, but we definitely were like on like recreational soccer teams back in the day.
When he
together.
says Jordan, he's talking about our buddy Jordan Adams. So
Yeah.
not Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He said, yo, Jordan.
Wait, so we met. Yeah, me and Michael were playing recreational soccer together, and so we knew each other before, but like we really bonded on like the pitch as I got out. Sorry. But we bonded on the soccer field for sure. Like that's where like we practiced and then hanging out, and that's where we became really good friends. I mean, I think that was like 2nd grade to like 5th or whatever, and so, at the time, Brazil was the team to follow, and like even just like back then we were playing FIFA, so like my connection had always been like that like early. I think that's like low key like the golden years of like soccer, like starting like
Yeah,
people
for like at
being
least a lot of
enthusiastic
people in America.
about
That
it.
2002 era. Yeah.
Ronaldo 9s, and like they had like the best shoes. Like they were like some of the first people with Nike collaborations back then that were really cool, and like I was really into the aesthetic and the style, and like
You
That
did
definitely-
always used to. You had mad soccer jerseys back in the day, or football.
yeah, I had all the soccer. I mean, and it also connected me back to like my Russian heritage of like that being like. one
So
of the
this man's
sports.
my.
So I was gonna ask,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say
like-
so like that's everywhere else soccer is like the.
And it sucked. Like I think I would have definitely. I mean, my parents definitely pushed me more towards the arts of doing ballet, piano, and violin versus playing sports. And I didn't know this until like way later in my life. But like, because my brother had a brain injury when he was young, they didn't push us to do like competitive sports until like, and so like they didn't want him doing sports, so I couldn't do sports either until like. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But that's how I like was interested in it.
Damn brain injury.
Is there a club you kind of gravitate towards or a specific player?
I mean, I've always been a big fan of AC Milan.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was in Florence and saw Forza play, and they were pretty fire. Just that the environment and watching a game in Europe.
Especially Italy.
In Italy, I mean, just being there at that stadium and like seeing like a 7-year-old like yell at the top of his lungs like exactly what's going
That's what
on.
they live for though.
Like,
man.
like I've never seen that energy in an American game of like any sport. Like
Wild.
like it's just was like the intensity was there. Like just like that kid knew exactly what he was talking about and was like, yo, I mean, I don't know what
You
he's
seen
saying.
that intensity, Jordan?
No, but not even. But like that intensity, like I didn't like.
Nah,
There was like
like-
hella kids, like, and they were like, I believe like they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Like it was just like,
I will say, my little brother, he's really talented in a lot of shit, and he used to play soccer. So there was a point where I used to always take him to U of L games, and they'd be like the free ones. I think I used to hit you up on them.
Yeah, U of L, great.
I
soccer
want to say,
team.
yeah. So I used to
Great
go to
team.
those. I went to a
100%.
couple of the Louisville City games. I'm just cheap now. I never feel like paying $15 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, soccer's cool, man. That's about like it. I mean, I honestly on some real shit. I watch if it's like a black player and they doing good. For the most part, like
I mean, in World Cup time, every time it came around, it was such a fun like bonding experience.
Oh,
Just for like 30 days, like
yeah.
watching the
Anyone
games
can
and
get
like
in the
watching the
World Cup.
tournament.
the one time
It
I was in Chicago
just sucks
during the
that
World Cup was fire.
USA
as fuck.
wasn't in it. Though.
I'm gonna say this. That's why I didn't really
really.
pay attention. But the
Yeah.
one time I was in Chicago and there's like the World Cup and like they be having like these huge viewing parties and stuff. That made it seem mad cool.
So do you see athletes like Kylian Mbappe, or I mean, she's not a soccer player, but Serena Williams partnering with brands like Off-White and wearing, special handmade clothes. Do you see that as kind of more of, trying the term, of a saturation of those two cultures kind of like meshing together?
I mean,
Well, the Off-White thing is just because it was Nike, and she's
Well,
already
that's what I'm saying. Do you think like those athletes going, like Kylian Mbappe getting special made cleats from Off-White, do you think that is...
I think that's just dope.
I mean,
it's
I think
just
it's-
like with the football. Even like
it's
with
good,
those-
but I also think it's just not. It doesn't seem as organic or like natural. Like I don't think Mbappe would seek out that cleat as much as like back in the day
regular
when like
Nike cleat.
back when Ronaldinho was getting like all the shoes because he was like going after and like seeking out and getting it made. But I think for them it's more just a business move of Nike being like, hey, you're gonna work with Virgil and he's gonna make you this shoe, and I'm sure Virgil didn't even touch it. Like it was just like it's more of a just like oversaturation of like brands.
just
Like there is definitely not like it's not like they asked some like they asked Virgil, who is a clothing designer that works for Nike. They didn't ask some artist that like is a fan of to like make the shoe or anything else. Like it's definitely a brand working with a brand to promote a brand, not like.
I guess like piggybacking off that, when you see companies like Jordan or Bait working with PSG, do you see more of that happening in the future? Do you see more not clothing lines, but like brands like that getting into
I mean,
the soccer business?
you got to think about it. Like Emirates got their logo big on the jerseys, so like why like they want to take that same opportunity to promote and get. I mean, jerseys sell so crazy that it's like it's just another.
They're even doing that shit on NBA jerseys now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
yeah,
wild.
I mean, it's
It's
I
just
mean, 'cause
another
look at NASCAR.
sponsorship. Like it's
Look at
just
NASCAR, like it's a whole jacket full.
I mean,
of
have
just,
you
like,
ever seen the
crazy-
movie Idiocracy? Like,
Yeah.
just like when they like just plaster the whole like
Saw
photos with
everything,
logos,
everything.
and it just makes fun of it. But it's like interesting because like there is like an element of design, but then at some point there's like an oversaturation of that to me that like can ruin that. Like, honestly, the Jumpman logo, I like a lot of Air Jordans logos are terrible. Like they're some of the worst like graphically like looking things like they.
I like the Nike
Like,
logo and shit.
Nike logo like
Like,
Nike
the other
has a very timeless like image
Yeah,
that they
man.
created and like that like even at that time it has lasted, but Jordan like really has like a timestamp and only a frame, and I think there's only some like the brand is so big that I don't know if it can like fail design wise, but like they definitely have like it
when he's so big.
when he was existed like once. I mean, when he existed and was there, it made sense. But like his era is fake, and that's why like Nike hasn't been able to develop another player and logo that goes with a player that like even like can like get up anywhere. Because like they keep making designs and stuff, and it just doesn't like ever.
The fact that his logo is that big is, I mean, like Shaq had one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
LeBron. I mean, I think LeBron had one for a minute, but it's just like that one. That one
they
is the
can't-
most
they- yeah.
classic.
They-
Yeah,
Like
it's just
athlete
timeless.
outside of like
Not
the
timeless,
NBA logo, like that is the most like.
Yeah.
It's the best looking one out of all of
Yeah.
them that I've ever seen. 'Cause,
But it's
like,
really hard to define an athlete with some kind of like
yeah.
image or
That shit
not
was
a word.
insane.
Like
Yeah.
how do you define like unless they got like there's nothing really like their
Yeah.
name is their only thing that really defines him, and he had a signature move and that's where
Yeah.
that came from. But
It's kind of crazy how that dunk turned into so much for him. That
Wasn't he like the first like athlete with a shoe though? Not with a shoe, but like he was like, because I watched the documentary.
I feel like there are athletes with shoe deals, just not. to
His
the
shit
same
was crazy.
extent.
His shit was insane. Like they were banning his shoes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
Nike was paying
Yeah.
the fine for him to go out there. And
Yeah, nah, his,
But
that
that
whole
was
story
definitely-
insane.
that was definitely just like Converse having like a monopoly on
Yeah.
the market at the
Well,
time.
that
That's
too.
what I was
Yeah.
gonna-
Yeah.
So it's
Converse
just,
ran that.
they
Crazy.
just
Look who owns Converse now.
Nike does. Yeah.
Crazy enough.
So I guess moving on from that, I was watching an interview the other day with Pusha T, and he tried to claim the people wearing soccer jerseys is on him. He's trying to take credit for that.
I've never seen Pusha.
I've never seen-
That's what I'm saying. He said, "Yeah, I've been wearing Mexico jerseys since 2002." Like, I
I mean,
can't
actually,
verify
that like during the reggaeton era, like I'm sure he like when Pharrell was producing those tracks and during like
I
I'm
don't
sure.
remember. I don't
but-
remember him being the singular person.
but that doesn't mean like I think there
Can't
was
take credit for that. Like,
Sometimes just trends happen. People just on the same mind way, like in the same way.
I mean, we just talked about it earlier. The golden age of soccer in America
just
started in 2002. Like he was just one of the people that rocked a soccer jersey. Like everybody else was rocking.
Well, especially because he was going out of the country.
Yeah.
And you're around that shit. You're like, man, let me go ahead and cop one of these jerseys. Like this seems crazy, you know. So.
But like to credit something, say I was rocking in 2002 and it be 2019. Like that's 17 years of like. Soccer jerseys coming in and out and in and out. That like, then it's like okay, like so Fuji came back from since then too.
I kind of want an Mbappe jersey now for real.
Dude, you get one $100.
That's crazy.
Do you think there's always been a crossover between hip hop and soccer, or do you think this has just been a recent thing?
This is definitely recent. It's always football.
You see player
even baseball back in the day. Even baseball, because there was more. You had Barry Bonds.
I mean, do you know any like specific references?
I was gonna say Drake. Whenever there's a foreign soccer player overseas, like Paul Pogba, whenever Pogba's in America, he's hanging out.
I was saying, do you remember any like early rap references to soccer at all?
No, I was just see if that was something you all have ever picked up on.
I think we just like to be different. Rappers like this, like because like back in the day, baseball was kind of like big with like
Barry
the black community. I mean, because there was more black.
Yeah.
That's when they was using steroids and it was fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, shit's boring now. And there's also like I can't even really name any like outside of Aaron Judd. Two gaps in New York. Aaron Judd and who's my man? Aaron Judd played for the Giants.
But like, and now like you know MLS is like popping off. Atlanta United is doing really good.
Yeah.
So like, there's
definitely one of my places I want to go.
I mean, I love that experience down there. Like just seeing the culture in Atlanta, which is a primarily like black city, gravitating around this team. They have 80,000 people going to their games at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is more than like
Mercedes-Benz Stadium too. Like that's insane.
So like you have 80,000 people going to a game, a soccer game in the U.S. Like that's insane. Like that's bigger. Like that's way more people than anywhere else that I've ever like.
I think Louisville would thrive with the MLS team. Cause I mean, I know how passionate you are about.
And it sucks that like you know like we've kind of got like cornered in with like Cincinnati being up in potential, and they already had teams, and then Nashville.
Well, they keep winning the championship though.
Well, that's just the problem. There's no pro realm. We can't. In every other league in the world, if you win the championship and you're in the second league, you go up, and we're the most successful second league team in the world because we can't make that jump.
Damn.
Yeah.
So we basically like have NBA players playing in the G League.
I would not say.
So it's not that, but
I mean
they're good. We have great players, but they're not. The problem with MLS and American soccer in general is there seems to be this kind of idea: if you haven't played in Europe at any point, you're not good. And if you spent your time playing college ball and then going to the USL and then MLS, there must be something wrong with you, which I very much disagree with.
On some real talk, though, I have heard the MLS be called the retirement league, though.
And that, that is definitely something the MLS has to figure out because they want to grow the league.
But you got to think, though,
players on
those kids over there have nothing. And also, with America, you know what America is? Think about club teams. Who's on those club teams?
It's the richest
white kids. You
know
what I mean?
That's
you got these little black kids and whatnot,
addressed.
and all these Hispanic, and like, dude, just in this neighborhood alone and whatnot.
Oh,
and you got all these kids around here playing soccer. First off, we would go to games, and that shit would be insane. That's the thing about America. America blocks off sports like that, soccer, like field hockey, stuff like that, lacrosse.
But there is. So soccer is still one of the easiest sports. Like there is a counter argument.
It's most accessible.
It's the most accessible sport to play because literally I would play with African kids all the time. Yeah. So there just needs to be a general interest because the interest isn't there also. Because I would play in a park with kids and we would just take our shoes off, set up 2 sticks and have a ball and we'd go.
But I'm saying
because you don't need it.
But is that club level though?
I'm saying those dudes were good at immigrant that's not that's just playing. You need to play that's how kids get good at basketball. They play on the court. It isn't the club level doesn't matter, but there still needs to be general interest in play for those kids to want to
You need to engage them
because the white kids definitely they have the interest because their parents push them into it, and that's just where the divide is on. I think that's like the counter argument. It is a sport in America that gets pushed forward by rich white people because they are interested in it. If there was an interest there for black kids to play it, then they would play it. But they're the parents aren't like, hey, you're gonna be a soccer star because they don't see that as an outcome or a success story.
And I know baseball. I know basketball and football are
Yeah, but like it's like that happens, and you know like the parents know those games, so they can help them with them, and they can like coach them and push them towards it. But since the parents don't know, like it's just a cycle of like that happens.
This is what
Basketball,
works.
football,
This is what
traditional
works. We're gonna
American
keep this
sports.
going.
Yeah, so like there's
I
nothing
do,
like
I do wish, but like,
there's
I'm
both
even
sides of
seeing-
those arguments.
I'm
Where
even
like
seeing stuff I'm playing, so I was like, dude, I wish more black kids play this sport. I'd be honest, I'd probably be more interested in it. I mean, it is cool seeing people overseas and stuff, but you gotta think those kids like the reason why it's not that good over here because those kids like. First off, they're not going to school. If they're going to school, they're going to some academy or whatnot where all they're doing is learning soccer. Like, and they're also broke as shit. They're in these third world countries, like, and this is their only way out of that shit. You know what I mean?
But like it's crazy. Whenever we did have friends that were black, and played the sports, like what's the homie that went to that? I think his name that went played.
Andrew Farrell?
Like Andrew, like he was on my indoor team, and like he was really like we were homies. Like with those players, they get somebody will put money behind them to get them to where they are. Like
Yeah.
like if you are at that level of
But
good
he
and
was
you're
in a
playing,
different. Wasn't he like?
I mean, he was
he
a,
grew up in the Highlands,
Like
didn't he?
he grew up in the Highlands. He also like lived in Colombia for a while.
Yeah, I know,
like,
but but I know he had a different story. Like you got.
I mean, he was like a dog, but I'm saying like Andrew or even Kai, like
Yeah.
like when those kids
But,
are.
but
I'm
he
saying,
was raised in a different.
I'm
I'm,
not
talking
saying
about
that.
I'm talking about like hood kids.
I know. I'm saying. I'm just saying when those kids are put in the environment, they do succeed.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of kids aren't.
They
good in
have to
the
be put in the environment exactly. Yeah.
and they can get there, but it's not like something that like it's just not mostly like an option that's given to most.
So there is no. I mean, I can't think of like. I mean, we have soccer. Like, there's the YMCA and shit like that, but like all that shit's out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no. So in Louisville, there's, I'd say 4 academies. There's LSA, Javanon, Mockingbird, and what's the other one?
United.
United.
And that's all out in the East End.
Yeah, they're all out in the East End.
Yeah, I remember because I would like play for United a little bit just on our D team, and I just remember like I would, it was crazy because like I never paid for it, and you could just go out there and practice with those teams. It's not like if you talk to the coach and the kid was good enough, they would like. It's not like but there's not like a knowledge. It's just
like AAU basketball.
It's
I mean,
like you had to,
superstar.
if you were like there and you would play and they're like, all right, you're gonna play for our team.
Mhm.
Like,
They would find a way to.
But my
like,
thing is,
incorporate
yeah,
it.
But my thing is like, and I don't think they like situated the clubs to be out in there. But do you think that if they did have like a jam on or something like that in
yeah.
Shively or something like
Absolutely.
that, do
I
you
really
think
do
more
think
black
that.
kids would be like, all right, bet, like,
Yeah.
so like, is it?
I really honestly.
So are these
But, like,
kids not away?
even-
Because also you got to
But
think.
now we have Louisville City, so you got to think, all right, Louisville City's gonna start
They are actually starting.
youth
They are?
development
Yeah.
team and
They just
whatnot.
announced it a couple
Well,
months
and,
ago.
hopefully that brings more kids of like different nationalities into it because I feel like I think it may be interest, but also I think it's like my mama wasn't about to drive me all the way out to Javanon when I was coming. You know what I mean? Like like they not thinking like future. They thinking like I just got out of work from this shit. I'm not about to drive you out 30 minutes out there. So I think it's if Louisville City does it, that sounds awesome. I mean I mess around and I act like I don't like soccer as much, and it's cool, but I just like. I would like to see like I felt more part of it when I saw like my little brother or somebody. You know what I mean? Like you like oh cool, because then that's why basketball and football thrives over here because it's not necessarily third world country, but you get these kids from the hood who like this is their only way out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also, like parents just need to start. I mean, just the whole community. Like we feel like a lot of kids. I feel like their kids are unsafe. Or a lot of parents feel like their kids are unsafe, like taking public transportation somewhere, going somewhere. But like. If a kid gets off of school at 3 o'clock and is 12 years old, he can take the TARP bus and get somewhere by 5 o'clock. Like everybody has iPods, they can entertain themselves nowadays. Like it's just there's that whole like weird, I mean, if the community feels safe enough for this kid to go all the way to wherever, I mean, he can be there and he can get picked up. Like there's always like ideas or like play, like if you have the motivation to do it, like it's just not like, you just got to do it. If a kid is actually motivated, like. There will be a kid that will go on that bus. Like I'm sure, me and Jordan, for example, definitely like took a bus to a soccer game before. It wasn't like, and like you would find a parent of one of those rich white kids to drive you home because like if you have like that energy, like they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna give you a ride home. You're the kid. You're like the star of the team. Like
investment.
Like they're gonna drive you home. So it's really just like getting that shot out there. I don't know. There's it's all like motivation. I think that a lot of drive that a lot of people don't have. I mean, a lot of kids would rather just be on home playing Fortnite right now.
Dead ass, man.
Yeah.
Straight up. Kids on the growing up, you be like, man, there's so many opportunities. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I wish I would have. There's like, I remember like being in middle school, I didn't do drum corps because I felt like I'd look like a nerd if I did it.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
like, man, why didn't I just fucking
Absolutely.
do drum? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I just do that
I
shit?
got some
I
things
mean,
like that.
there's an
Like,
overwhelming
Yeah, I mean-
amount of opportunities to just learn and experience things
Yeah.
in your youth that you like definitely like.
Which I feel
Rush
like
hour.
I take advantage of, and I feel like I've taken advantage of a nice amount of opportunities like now where I don't feel like I've like missed out on anything. Cause like now, like even like with the DJ and shit, like I was like, yo, like we wanted to throw our own fucking functions, so like why don't I just DJ? Cause I was like, I don't fucking feel like hearing anybody else around here DJ my shit, and it ends up working out to where I'm like, all right. Like once every other week or so, somebody hit me up like, "Hey, you gonna DJ this for like how much money?" I'm like, "Bet." You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's just about taking advantage of shit. Just like you said, taking that Tark all the way out to somewhere. But boy,
Because I mean, I haven't had a car since I've
Oh,
ever.
yeah, since I've known you, you've
Yeah,
never had a
I've
car.
never had a car. I had my permit and just like, so like, just living that lifestyle and like figuring out how to get places and everywhere, and still, living comfortably, getting enough money, like just going around and getting places that are taking any kind of bus, mega bus, Chinatown bus, Tark bus, or even a bike. Like,
Yeah.
like there's so much like low maintenance and like budgeting that can go into like, cause some people just like rack on all these fees and extra things that like are really unnecessary to your life, like that like don't really push you forward in any way, shape, or form. Like, I'm actually about to get a car soon, and I'm like thinking about like how I'm gonna use that car to do things that will push me
yeah,
even more forward from where I am now. So it's like, it's just like, all right, awesome. Like,
nah, I mean, but you also got to be around people. Like I was fortunate enough to meet him to where like I don't feel weird about doing certain things. Like, I remember
Yeah.
like us like finding a way to get down to like a music festival because it was some dudes he knew in Chicago who were cool enough with him to where they went out of their way to go. It was
like at least 3 hours all the way.
I'm not
drive,
saying to
pick
come
us
down
up.
here, pick us up, look out for us, and we were fine. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it's just about people just getting out of their comfort zone, man. So I mean, I guess that goes back to like the whole soccer thing. I mean, cause boy, I tell you one thing, I might not have took the talk out to soccer, but man, I'll take the talk out to go meet some girls. So. So I guess it is that too. I mean, it's just you gotta just understand that like you gotta build. I think.
I mean,
people
we
are just
had
afraid to
we
build
also had a
opportunities
friend that
for
was a
themselves.
soccer mom that like would buy us food
Taco
every
Joe's mom.
every Tuesday
Taco
she would buy us
Tuesdays.
food. So like, there's always some like if you are those soccer communities like in
Very
the US,
tight knit.
Those moms
those soccer moms will like
make a
show
hell of a
so
sound,
much love
right?
and like
Lord Jesus.
like will just give you like they got all the bread, like they have so much bread just to share, and like it's just amazing. Just to,
There's a lot of money in the soccer community.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
I would have played soccer. I feel like I would have been alright too, man. They used to call me Cannon in the YMCA league. Straight up.
kickball,
That's all I was doing out there, just kicking as hard as I could.
telling it.
Getting back to Louisville City, I think this will be the last question for you all. How important would you say Louisville City has been to, I guess, I don't want to call it a revitalization of Louisville, but there seems to be the last 5 or 6 years more and more opportunity, more things to do, more things that are spreading Louisville's name around. Would you say Louisville City is key to that? As
Hell
a
yeah.
part of
I
that?
think it's just cool going down there and seeing like the culture of like
I think it's. I mean, like we've been begging for some type of professional
Something, man.
sport, like because I think there is a level of like your city's not a city type thing
unless you're a
because
professional
there's
sport.
like there's a lot of disrespect towards our city. Like when people just brush up. I mean, it looks. You come across that bridge, the city like it's one of the most beautiful
Beautiful as
cities.
shit.
Just drive into, you see it, and
Yeah.
like, I mean, I think Louisville was definitely like on the up and up, like right until that economy crashed. Cause like, I mean, there was so much like stock money here, like the stockyard, like everything was like, they were about to build the biggest museum building down to like we were about to have one of the tallest buildings in the Midwest, Museum Plaza, and then like so like when that collapsed and like that was like the contemporary like if that building was there like. The whole
So much other stuff would have came.
yeah,
and
it was
built around
like they were about to like revitalize the whole like they were about to have a train system like all this stuff was like coming to Louisville in like the early
Louisville's about to
2000s.
be cool.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And it was like wow, and then the economy collapsed and like all this stuff and it was just like damn,
I
like
heard a lot of people, man.
and that just I think slowed down the city like it kind of put us at like a pause for a while, but it's crazy like they weren't building anything yet that like I mean like that like projects didn't really like stop or get started. Like they weren't like in the middle. Like there's places like in New York that were just like in the middle of
Yeah.
getting built that just never got built, and they're just like blank buildings. But like it would have been like cool. But I think Louisville City, like we finally have some respect toward, and like they're about to build a stadium and all that stuff's cool to where like. And now, like, we've been doing, gentrification has been going down, and it's crazy, like,
I didn't want to say it.
but,
Yeah, that's really what it is.
but like, in those neighborhoods, and like, but they're trying to fix certain problems, like, within the city, like, Smoketown used to be the top, most violent neighborhood, only like 4 years ago, or
It's
5
nice,
years ago.
man. It's crazy, man. See,
That's
and-
like
and
right
turn
over
around.
by here.
And just for them, like I remember when I was in middle school at Mazik, which was in Smoketown, it was the most violent neighborhood in the country.
I guess I live close to Smoke.
And it was just like, all right, they like had this whole plan to build these parks and destroy the projects that kind of fucked the whole system up and rebuild new nice like places that like people can revitalize and like bring energy to like the community. So like all those little things, like it's definitely a long-term plan that's been going on for a while, but like just every little step to like improve the health and just like ending racism and other shit like that just like, I mean, I saw this picture of like Louisville weed arrests the other day, and it's all just like so high concentrated just in the west side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just like there's this whole red picture, and then like it says like there's no arrests in the rest of the whole city, and it's like damn.
Nobody smokes weed anywhere else?
There's no like people smoke weed like the whole damn country smokes weed. Like why are we still arresting people for marijuana and stuff like
Absolutely.
that? And it's
I think that's a bigger issue for Louisville in general. What were the projects downtown? Something Square.
Shepherd Square.
That wasn't Shepherd Square. It was right over by it. I don't know.
Main Street.
I can't
Yes,
remember the
that's
name.
right.
I know you're talking about.
Beecher Terrace.
Beecher Terrace.
Yeah.
4 years ago, there was a Courier Journal article that said the state of Kentucky spends about $15 million on locking people in Beecher Terrace up every year. And 1 in 5 people in Beecher Terrace are a felon. 1 in 3 people who live there will be on the receiving end of a violent crime within a year's time. And you just hear about these things and you read statistics like that, and it's just mind-blowing.
Well, it's almost like a halfway house type shit instead of like an actual like.
It's more of a police state.
Yeah.
They're looking for people to arrest rather than solving the root issue of the problem, which is systemic poverty, lack of access to any sort of real
I
opportunity.
mean, it's literally a
but-
food desert down there as well, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
they got rid of that Walmart they were going to
Yeah,
build.
man.
Yeah, and
But
like
that-
even
yeah, it's-
even the
it's a
hotel,
tough
the
problem.
Omni was like sold as a grocery store,
And they spent
and then-
Pop Tarts like $3.
And there's no grocery there.
Nah,
It's, like,
it's expensive there.
it's an expanded mini fridge,
Yeah.
like.
And nobody's about to walk inside
But
the
like-
Omni grocery
But
store.
like I was just like when they were like I thought they were actually gonna open like a grocery downtown when they announced that, and they just,
Hell no.
it's just like why like half sell something like that like
Yeah.
and make it seem like.
No, I 100% agree.
That's bullshit.
So when is the next 2026 show? What do you expect to see you on?
February 16th is the next big one.
The Magic Man is back performing, and we will be announcing the lineup
Tomorrow.
Sunday. Well, I guess
Yeah.
when's this coming out?
We'll probably publish this Monday morning.
Okay.
The
well,
lineup will be my man Taj, Dope Taji on Instagram, my man Shloob of the Private Garden, and we got Magic Man right here, Domdi, and my homegirl DJ Slim Thick, she'll be DJing. Frank White Lamone will be, aka Francis Tomasovich, aka The Man, will be doing lights and visuals. I have my man Bonds there as well.
Okay.
He'll be playing alongside me.
And then I guess we'll be.
I got a
doing
few
also-
special guests as well too, so
Where's it at?
stay tuned. At
Zanzibar.
Z-Bar?
Zanzibar on the 16th. It's an all ages show this time. First all ages show, I guess, possibly. And we're gonna have it's gonna go from 7 and then it's gonna close at 11. So
The Heartbreakers Ball.
yeah, it's gonna be just a quick 4 hours of fun. And
Cool. Well, guys, I appreciate you all coming on, talking to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm Fuller.
Dom, Francis.
Oh shit.